Greetings Pisces folks, this is Terra Illumination with your little video about the Aries North Node journey and how it might apply to you. Please, if you haven't watched it already, watch the primer video that underscores all the videos in this series. The video is called Aries North Node. It's probably right at the beginning of the list. Another thing is I was advised to suggest to people, since we're dealing with the Libra South Node, it's all about relationships and what may or may not be working in that department, you might want to do some cross-watching. Make yourself a cross-watcher. There might be somebody who's a cross-watcher on you. What that means apparently in the YouTube video astrology world is that you gather birth data for a significant other and you watch their video, so you have an understanding what they're going through and how you can moderate your experience, behavior, actions, decisions accordingly. Just makes it a richer, fuller experience, especially if there is a significant other. Anyway, let's get on with it. So it's a different storyline for everybody. Now remember, you're a Pisces type, okay, whatever that looks like for you. A lot of planets in Pisces, or the 12th house, or maybe you're Pisces rising or something like that. And you may not have anything going on here in the 8th house or 2nd house, planets or no planets, but the transit's going to happen anyway, okay? It's an 18.5-year cycle, and that turns out about 1.55 years per sign. So we just came out of the 1.5-year cycle for the North Node in Taurus. Now moving into North Node in Aries. So this would, if you watch some of the other videos, you'll see that the charts differ accordingly, okay? See the axis. It's all about the axis. So over here, let's put the pointy end over here. So this is a 1.5-year journey as it goes from here through your 2nd house and 8th house over the next 1.5 years. Now, if you do happen to have really accented spots over here, planets in Aries or planets in Libra, something like that, then this might be more significant for you. But even if there's nothing there, the transit happens anyway, and it's a great opportunity to evolve and upgrade yourself accordingly. A lot of people won't bother with any of this, but if you do, it can be very valuable. A lot of astrologers consider the North Node as one of the most significant parts of your birth astrology in terms of what it means, like who are you? Where did you come from? Where are you going? We're talking even including past lives and future lives. And what does your journey through this life look like? Okay? So in your case right now, it's an inconjunct. Pisces with Libra and Aries, they're inconjunct. There's like if you had a trine here with, I don't know, if you had Cancers and Scorpios in the charts, and those would be very harmonious. But this is an inconjunct, so it's kind of odd and awkward, and it might feel awkward for you. The inconjunct is not an opposition, it's not a trine, it's not a sextile, it's not a conjunction. It's an inconjunct. It's just slightly off angle compared to the main aspects. So for you, we're talking about Libra South Node experience over the next 1.5 years, transiting through your 8th house. North Node transiting through your 2nd house. So let's pick out some very core, basic, primitive elements. Sex, money, deep soul merger, power, lust for power, loss of power. Think of Pluto. Very, very extreme energy. The farthest planet away in our solar system. corresponding to the deepest part of the soul. Mercury, Venus, and Mars are very, very close to us here on Earth, so they translate very well into personal astrology. But when you get out into Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, it's much like bigger, broad spectrum energy that's much harder to understand for a lot of people and goes much deeper into the depths of the soul. So that's where the 8th house is over here. And a lot of people are uncomfortable with the energies in that house because it can involve the dissolution of self into other in such a ways that it's great when it works, but it's not so great when it's not working in a healthy way. Probably the easiest... Okay, so another theme is, let's think about Libra, the lens of Libra. Love, relationships, harmony, balance. Seeking love, relationships, harmony, and balance. Creating love, relationships, harmony, and balance. Salvaging love, relationships, and harmony and balance. And it gets to the point where everything is conducted in the context of relationship. But you, dear Pisces, you are an individual. You actually do have a sovereign self, which is not contingent on anyone or anything else. And you have the right and obligation and duty to be your fully most evolved sovereign self. But in this situation here, there's a strong pull to just the opposite, where the default settings are relationships, the relationship dynamic. So let's distill that further, talking about relationships in the 8th house. So we're talking perhaps pregnancy, sexual merger. Are you in a sexual merger with someone that is actually inappropriate for you? Can you feel that? Are you willing to do something about that? Are you in a deep merger with some financial institution, like a savings account, an investment account, a retirement account, a trading account? Have you allowed someone or some so-called financial authority, have you granted them permission to take control and ownership and management of your money to the point where your money is completely merged with them in such a way that you become highly vulnerable? What happens if there's you and your money and resources and talent and gifts, and you've merged that over here with, like, say, a really apparently awesome financial advisor, or just your bank, and then you're starting to realize, wait a minute, there's some really fishy, nasty, creepy things going on in the global financial system. In fact, it's happening right down here in the ground here in the United States. Bank accounts are being closed randomly by the banks on the citizens for whatever reason. Are you with the right religion? Do you come from the right background? Do you have the right political views? What's that got to do with banking? But that's what's happening. Have you realized that are you discovering that you've been chiseled, scammed, or conned, or have had your assets stolen in some way because of a significant relationship with a so-called significant other regarding money? The reason I'm saying money is because the 8th house and the 2nd house are the houses of money. This is the house of other people's money. In other words, insurance companies, taxes, bankruptcies, investments, trading, savings, retirements, 401ks, IRAs, all those kinds of things, where you are entrusting your hard-earned cash through your sweat and labor and natural gifts and talents. You're putting that all over here like a pension fund, and you're trusting them to do the right thing for you. I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's a tremendous amount of criminal activity going on in the world of other people's money right now, especially in the United States and China and Western Europe. Are you a victim of that? Are you an unwitting victim? Are you a victim and you're aware of it? Are you aware of it and realizing you're stuck, you're locked into something, you can't get out of it? That's a problem. So, If you are stuck, I mean, put it the same. Are you in a relationship where you have merged your DNA with a significant other and discovered that that significant other is not really a good match for you? And then what are the consequences? So in other words, we're talking about the unhealthy expression of love, relationships, harmony, and balance. We're talking about relationships where the other party is behaving exactly in the opposite way to love, relationships, harmony, and balance. They're trying to exploit, financially rape, abuse, to steal, thieve, betray, deceive, manipulate, to take your money as opposed to being a reliable, trustworthy custodian. They turn out to be a thief. It's happening on a mass scale. You might just want to check your finances. So what do you do about that? And you start to realize, well, wait a minute, I thought everyone was supposed to put their money in a bank and save and then work for retirement. Well, that's what we've been conditioned to believe. It might be time to consider self-custody. You have the right to be you. You might actually feel like, wait a minute, it's about time I took charge of this. Like, I'm going to check my bank account every month. I'm going to check my finances every month. I'm going to examine all these relationships over here to see if there's any fraud going on. And if so, I'm going to close everything out, reclaim my sovereign wealth to myself, so I can be the boss of me and my money. Now, a lot of people don't like to do that. Now, if you're a Piscean type and you really don't want to take full custody of your talents, your gifts, your resources, your time, your money, your things, your stuff. In other words, oh my God, if I just earned $1,000 in that week or that month, did that just go on to auto pay to some fund, savings, or bank or whatever? What about me? Why don't I keep my money? Maybe you could get that money as a direct deposit to you, and when it gets into the bank, you cash it out. You go to the bank, instead of saying, hey, I want all my money, you just delicately withdraw 100 here, 100 there, 100 there, 100 there, and take all your money and turn it into paper cash. Even though to some people cash is trash, at least you got it in your hands. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Okay? And the next thing, like if you got excess cash around, what are you going to do? How are you going to protect and save yourself for the future? It's time for you to be in charge, take the lead, and carve out your finances for the long term. You might want to consider, wow, this is really scary stuff. I have to be the boss of my own money, do my own research, figure out what am I going to do with it. You might want to completely divest yourself of the world of other people's money. You might want to consider just buying gold, buy silver, stash cash. Forget, do everything you can to decouple from the world of other people's money. Whenever you receive money and it's deflating and it's losing value because of inflation or because interest rates are going up and your finances are being destroyed, find ways to get out of all that horrible stuff. Take self-custody. If you have to, switch to a life of cash only. Think of cash, gold, silver, assets, food. Own your own house, own your own car. It's very difficult to do. Perhaps, if it's impossible to own your car, downsize. Or perhaps it's a better deal to just rent. Find the most affordable, minimalist place you can to keep your overheads as low as possible. Find, if you've got huge amounts of debt and problems there, find ways to get out of it. Bankruptcy might be a very good idea, and don't apologize. It's a very, luckily in the United States, we have very powerful bankruptcy laws that protect people from creditors who have loaned you money. Remember, I'm not going to do a whole financial video here, but there's a massive industry that's based on sucking wealth out of you by convincing you that you need to have credit cards, car payments, and mortgages and college loans right now so that you're paying off debt for the whole of your life. So you become a debt cow. You become a debt slave. And that's, guess what, how most of America and the world and Americans work. But you don't have to do that. If you're willing to live within your means and carve out a much more reality-based existence where like, oh, maybe I can't really afford that $400,000 house on the mortgage for 30 years, especially since rates are going up. What do? Well, maybe you completely downsize your life and move to, like if you go to a little place called Akron, Ohio, you can get a house in Akron, Ohio for about $120,000. It's cute. I don't know what the neighbors are like, but it's okay. Maybe get a really small rental. But again, rentals can be very expensive, so you got to be careful. Anyway, the point is, like with the Aries energy, it's time for you to consolidate and be you, and don't answer to anyone else. Put yourself, your finances, your talent, skills, resources in first position. What does that look like for you? It might be very difficult for you because it might not come naturally, but it's really important that you at least try. And that means doing something very, very bold where you have to kind of trust your gut, your raw, like fight or flight instinct. If your physical body is telling you there's something wrong over here, you can either fight them or you can run. Sometimes the best thing to do is just get out, cash out, do whatever you can, even if you have to take a few losses. Just get out of that and consolidate over here. A lot of people do that, especially if they've been scammed. So what do? Like simplify, reduce and simplify, reduce and simplify. Find ways to, like if you have to get rid of your credit cards, maybe don't pay them all off. Maybe consolidate them into one massive credit card. Run that for a while and then file bankruptcy. Maybe some people go to those credit fixing places. Be very, very, very careful because they can be just as scammy as these people, if not worse. So just be extremely careful. Super simple. Super simple. Gold, silver, cash, stuff. By stuff I mean, like, if you have to live in a tent, own your own tent, and then all your cash, and then find somewhere to camp. I've done that. I've had to live like that for extended periods of time myself in order to maintain my financial sovereignty. Get rid of all the debt. Own the title to your home if you can. Own the title to your car if you can. You don't have to buy something flashy. Just get something that works. Get a friend to help you find something that works and decent at a fair price. Hunt, hunt, hunt. Find the right thing. Be brave. Go forward. Do not apologize if you piss these people off, because these people need you. You may not need them. They need you more than you need them. So, explore the world of your finances, especially financial relationships. It's time to build a financial love relationship with yourself. Fall in love with yourself. Do things that are very, very simple, that make common sense, and learn how to live within your means some way or other, somehow. It might be tough, but it can be great satisfaction when you don't owe anything to anybody and you got a bit of cash stashed somewhere and you got a few bits of gold and silver locked up, hidden somewhere. Okay, self-custody. It's very scary. Like, oh, what if somebody breaks into my house and steals my coins? Oh no, what happens if they break in and they find where my cash is hidden? Oh no, oh no, oh no. Well, figure it out. Okay, Aries will figure it out. Learn how to protect and defend yourself as well, so that if these folks come after you, then you've got ways to take care of business, okay? Dear Pisces, if you need to get in touch with me, we'll work it out in detail. I love to receive donations. I really need them. If you want to, you can book a reading, go into great detail, much more than here. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said before, please watch the primer video. It'll give you a deeper background and understanding of how this nodal journey is so important. You might want to do research on yourself in your own charts. Like, what is your particular nodal journey? What's your North Node? Book a private reading. We'll figure it out. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. What else did I miss anything? I think that's it. All the best, Pisces. You can do this. You got to turn yourself into a warrior for a while. Put yourself first. Be brave. Fight. Make radical decisions. Trust what your body is telling you. Get physically fit so that your whole body, mind, heart, and soul are working in coordination, and you're not lost in the fog of illusions and betrayal in the world of the 8th house and other people's money and the relationships that automatically come with it. You don't need that. Okay, you need to be you, okay? You're first. You're number one, okay? Love thyself. Bye-bye.